Hello there. My name is Mike Ebert, and I'm the Director of Software Engineering at Indicio. And today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Zero Trust. So, Zero Trust is a relatively newer take on security models. The basic idea is that in sensitive systems, you don't want to ever trust that the user or person that is using the system is authenticated and authorized for very long. You can limit the damage to a sensitive system if you verify the person's identity and access to the system at every turn. So that way, if they do something like they walk away from their computer, they lose their phone, something like that, where their access could be compromised, you can block or limit the scope of damage or access that an unauthorized party could gain access to. So we're going to, show you a little demo that shows how uh, zero trust can be implemented using decentralized identity and verifiable credentials. And there's some benefits to that. So one of the tricky bits about zero trust is that sometimes it is inconvenient, where you have to have a special piece of hardware with you all the time, or you have to enter your password 6,000 times, or you have a workflow that's just clunky. And so we're going to show how um, credentials can be both secure and convenient. So we have here a sample use case. Let's say that we are an employee of Interselect Regional Hospital. And as either a doctor or like an X-ray technician or something like that, I have a legitimate need to view patient medical records. But perhaps because of my department, I'm only supposed to see records of certain types, or as a doctor, I'm only assigned to certain patients. So we're going to go through the process of setting up our access to the system and then demonstrating the zero trust model in relation to this patient data. So I'm going to start off with creating an account as an employee. So I am a professional. And then we're just going to fill this in with some sample data here. And this process, we're demonstrating it through a website. You could have something like an application that where you apply to have an account, and then um, that account application is reviewed, or you could have an administrator create the account. So this is just for demonstration purposes, so you could see the kind of data that would go into an account. And so um, now that we have entered our account information, we can scan this QR code to connect our mobile application to the server, and the server will issue us a credential. So I'm going to open up Holder Plus here, and we're going to talk about one of the pieces of security here as the app opens up. So one of the best ways to secure the access of a zero trust model is using biometrics. So here we're displaying the biometric authentication required to open the application. So we can't even really begin using the zero trust system until we've proved that we are the right person that initialized this app and got the credentials. So I'm just going to scan my fingerprint here to unlock my app. And now I'm going to connect to get my access credential. So there's our connection. And the system's going to offer me a credential based on that data that I entered and that we can say was approved by the staff or something like that. So there's my credential offer. And we'll accept this employment credential. And now we've been granted access to the system. And we have our credential. So now let's say that as the doctor, I'm going to go view the image data for some of my patients. And the system is set up so that for each patient, it's going to verify that I am the right person and that I am supposed to have access to this. We click on images and we get a request for a credential that proves that we're allowed to access this. So we'll go ahead and share our credential here. Let's share that employment credential that says I am, this is my role at the hospital. This is the department I work in. And now that we've proven that we can have access to this patient, now we can click through and view, medical data here. And one of the interesting things about zero trust is that zero trust means that every sensitive operation is re-authenticated and reauthorized. There are slightly relaxed models of zero trust that allow for a little more convenience. So you can cache the results for a certain amount of time. So like right now, I've got this system configured to have a 30-second cache, and see how I was able to access this data without another credential request. So this one's set to 30 seconds. You could set that cache time to 0 so that every time you have to share the credential. For less sensitive systems, you could say, you know what, it's good enough that sometime today or in the last 24 hours that this person, this particular connection has proved who they are, and that they're allowed to work through the system. So now that it's been almost 30 seconds, we'll go and we'll switch to another patient's images here. And if I've waited long enough, it should ask me for my credential again to re-authenticate and authorize me. And there's the request. And we'll go ahead and share that again. So there's our demonstration of a zero trust model and decentralized identity applied to these medical images. And so just to reiterate, decentralized identity and verifiable credentials pair really well with zero trust. It's an important security model, and there's some benefits to using that with decentralized identity. So for those using the system who have to authenticate and authorize over and over again, there's the convenience of being able to use a phone, and the biometrics are usually pretty quick, and clicking an accept button for a credential that you have is straightforward, and it's on a device that they have with them all the time anyway. So it's very convenient for them, and it's less hassle than some of the other methods. For the companies that deploy the solution, by saving their employees time and frustration, they are saving money that they would be spending on the frustration or the use of the system. And so their employees have time to do other things instead. There's the security of the biometrics that are included. Not all zero trust or two-factor authentication models include biometrics. And so those are systems that are traditionally a lot harder to hack. And so you get the extra security of the biometrics. So that's a summary of our discussion about zero trust and decentralized identity. If you have further questions, you're welcome to contact us through our website, indicio.tech, or through LinkedIn. You can search for us there. And we'd be happy to talk about zero trust and decentralized identity some more. Thank you.